Hello and welcome to SEGA News Bits Extra. I'm your host George, and with me is Barry.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about, SEGA news for the week. The first one is that we finally got a release date on Phantasy Star, the SEGA Master System game. It's coming out in the West December 13th, which it was delayed. It was supposed to come out I think November 20-something. Barry, tell us more about this and why it was delayed. Did they even say it?
They never said why it was delayed, though it was pretty funny. So basically, the game was supposed to release around Halloween, and we didn't hear a thing throughout November. And, when I knew this story, in fact, there was something that you had written where you were like, it's delayed till November something.
And I didn't finish it because I saw it and it was I was already 3 days late because I haven't really been on the computer. I've been busy. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, you better type this up. So I started typing it up, and I was like, oh, wait, I'm already late for the delay. So I just left it.
Yeah, and it didn't even happen. So, I was on Twitter, and this person called Little Oryx, Orcs. They are a Sega Atlas European PR person, and they tweeted, Phantasy Star comes to Switch December 13th as part of our Sega Ages releases. Only $5.99 to experience this iconic RPG. But what was funny is the Sega account never said anything. It was like this, person who they actually follow us, so good on them. But they have 15.5k followers, not too bad. But it's just kind of strange. And then I newsed it, and then about an hour later, the official Sega accounts newsed it. So it's like we beat them.
Yeah, technically, the guy gave it up on his account first, and now we got it. But yeah. So what do you think would delay a game like this? Do you think they're redoing the translation again? Because one of the things that Sega talked about in their financial reports is that they think that the reason Yakuza has been doing so well is because the localization team has been taking, longer time and being more accurate, or adding more humor to it, and people seem to like that. Do you think that's what they're doing here? They're doing a retranslation?
It possibly, it could be. I wouldn't mind that. I think localization is the only real thing that could have held it back like that. I'm not sure.
I can't think it's licensing.
Yeah. It's hard to say with these releases. They've been so, not lazy, but just relaxed with it. They're like, oh yeah, it's coming out next week.
One of the things that the features in Japan is that they have a simplistic version of Japanese. When I did the article for it, they were saying that was going to be one of the extra features, and I feel like that feature would just not work in America. Oh, cool, we got a simplistic Japanese version, who cares? But if they did a new localization, then they had an option for the old localization, that would be a cool extra feature for the American people.
That would be very cool. Yeah, for sure.
So if that's what they did, that'd be cool, and it's worth advertising when they do promotion for this, since it's still a ways out. I'm pretty excited because I feel this game doesn't really get the credit it deserves because it's been overshadowed by 4 and 2 and the online games. So look forward to that. The next bit of news we're talking about is that Sega Heroes, the mobile game, has launched. So what do you think about it?
I think it's pretty good. Both you and I knew that there was something coming, both from interactions behind the scenes and through leaks. Remember Sega Blast Heroes? You covered that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's all right. My only complaint is that they really could have used the columns designs for the little gems. That's a no-brainer. I'm surprised they didn't do that. What do you think about it?
I have not played it. I downloaded it. I have it on my phone. It's just sitting there on my my little app thing. But there's this thing with mobile apps. I don't know what it's been. It's been the last 2 years. I just can't click on mobile apps. I'll get into an app, I'll play it for 30 minutes, and I'm like, oh, this is cool, I like this. And then that little timer comes up, buy gems, and I'm like, cool, I never open it up again. I go play another game. But for what I see, I don't like the art style. It just looks like Uncanny Valley to me, these characters. I know they're trying to do matching art style. They could have thought of something different. It looks very weird. The gym thing was really weird for me. When I saw that and I did the preview for it, I was already gonna bash it. I was already like, oh, they missed the most obvious stuff. This is gonna be terrible. But people are saying that the writing is really good in this game and that it's actually pretty fun. I just hope Sega doesn't screw it up by adding a bunch of more microtransactions as it grows. But I want to give it a try. I'll probably give it a try and write something about it if I feel like it. If it sparks something in me and I really like it, I'll probably do a long form article on it. But let's move on to the last bit of news. Valkyria Chronicles 4 was nominated for Strategy Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and it's just called the Game Awards. So when I did the article for this, I was like thinking for like almost an hour, like, how am I going to name this article without it sounding really weird and vague? It's like, yeah, it's getting an award at the Game Awards. What Game Awards, George? The Game Awards.
Right.
That thing. So a lot of people have been saying in the comments, and this is kind of what we're going to talk about. I mean, cool, it got nominated, but people are saying there hasn't been that many strategy games this year. So people are saying this is kind of like just giving meat to Sega, like, well, we couldn't find anybody else, so I guess we'll add you, Sega, this time. I don't think they've snobbed Sega that much, but I think Yakuza should have been given a spot somewhere in this list. I think that's kind of lame. But Valkyria Chronicles 4 at least got nominated. Some other Japanese games got nominated, like Octopath Traveler, Monster Hunter World. But a lot of people have been saying that Japanese developers in these American shows don't get the credit they deserve. Do you think that's true? Or do you think people in America are more interested in higher selling games like Assassin's Creed, Battlefield, Call of Duty, whatever war shooter we have going this year?
I mean, looking at the list of nominees, they do list a lot of Japanese titles, so I don't think that's the case. But I do know in America, like, you know, the general gaming audience, they really just latch on to the big thing. So it's like, oh, Spider-Man's coming out. You have to buy Spider-Man. Battlefront 2's coming out. You gotta buy Battlefront 2. Red Dead Redemption 2's coming out. You gotta buy that. And it's like, I'm not saying those are bad games, but it's like, there's just this thing where it's expected of you to run out and pick it up and experience it with everyone else. And I really wish that it would give more towards games like Yakuza. I honestly think Yakuza 6 and Yakuza 0 are better games than Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption 2. mainly because I feel like they're structured, and I feel like when you move away from that open world mentality, you actually have to put more effort into your game design. Because Because, I mean, you know, you hear people playing these open world games, and a lot of the time they're just goofing around. Nothing wrong with that, but like, I know so many people who never finish those games. They're just in it for the sandbox experience. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of tired of sandbox games, and so I really like what Sega's been releasing in terms of Yakuza and Valkyria Chronicles, and I feel like those deserve recognition for being actual games that are designed with a little more structure. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. I get you.
Yeah.
Some games I don't get that get awards are like Tomb Raider. Like, I get it. You guys want to have a game with I guess female protagonist. I like that. I just don't think the games themselves are that great. Like, I played it. It's like, oh, I'm playing Uncharted Clone 32, which is like, eh. But anyway, these are the strategy games that were nominated for it with Valkyria Chronicles. A lot of these I haven't heard of. Battletech, I did look them up, so I'll tell you a little bit about them. Battletech is like a mech strategy game where you move around mech. Frostpunk is basically a cyberpunk sci-fi strategy game. Into the Breach, this is an isometric, I think it's 2D pixel art SRPG where you move them in little blocks. The Banner Saga 3, I played one of this. I didn't get into it, but it's really cool hand-drawn animation. It kind of reminds me of like those old 80s heavy metal cartoons and sort of the art style. It's not like nudes or anything like, or psychedelic like heavy metal, but it's like Viking stuff. But Valkyria Chronicles 4 is the other one. So, in my opinion, I mean, I haven't played a lot of these, but I hope Valkyria Chronicles 4 wins, and you guys could vote for it. It's somewhere on... Go on Sega Bits, and you'll see the link to vote if you guys haven't. I really don't care about these award shows, to be honest with you. I'm not going to watch it, but I hope they wins because I want more people to play Sega games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything you want to say to the audience to close this video up?
Have a great Thanksgiving week, and play games.
And don't go out in Black Friday. Stay in.
Yeah,
play
stay
Yakuza.
inside.
Just buy it digitally.
Watch some Netflix. Chill.
You could buy Fist of the North Star right now on PSN digitally for $40.
That's right. And Sonic Mania Plus or something is on sale too for Black Friday.
And Nugget from Yakuza 0 has been added into Fist of the North Star.
Shit.
So now you have a reason
He has?
to play. Yes, he has in an update.
Oh man! All right, I gotta go get some Nugget.
All right, see you guys next week.
Bye. I didn't know that. That's cool.